Media Certification and Monitoring Committee. Disclaimer: this training material is for use in training of election officials. It should not be referred as guideline of VCI. In case of any variance in this training material, the Commission guidelines, rules, laws shall prevail. Learning outcomes. At the end of the session, the participants will be able to interpret the Honorable Supreme Court's order on pre-certification of political advertisement on electronic media, explain the composition and duties of Media Certification and Monitoring Committee, apply the knowledge to pre-certification of political advertisement on electronic media and e-newspaper, underline the regulations and guidelines for print media coverage during poll day and 1 day prior to poll day. Understand the points to be considered before issuing the certificate on broadcast of political advertisement. Cite the guidelines issued by the Commission on MCMC. Understand the various reporting formats on paid news. Honorable Supreme Court's order dated 30th April 2004 says, any cable operator is prohibited for transmitting any advertisement which is not in conformity with the prescribed program code and advertisement code. Any advertisement carried in cable service shall be designed so as to conform to the laws of the country and should not offend morality, decency, and religious susceptibility of the subscribers. No advertisement shall be permitted which derides race, caste, color, etc., and is against provision of the Constitution of India. After this order, the Commission clarifies, Honorable Supreme Court has not specifically prohibited ads by the person other than the political party or the candidate. However, such persons cannot give advertisements for the benefit of any political party or candidate or against them. So, the pre-certification is must for electronic media, not for print media. It is must for print media if the advertisement comes on the day of poll or 1 day prior to the day of poll. Print media means advertisement on TV channels, cable networks, radio or private FM channel, cinema halls, virtual campaign, social media, audio-visual display of political advertisement, campaign material in public places, bulk SMS, voice messages, advertisement in e-newspaper, advertisement in newspaper on poll and pre-poll day. Generally, Commission issues a letter directing political parties, candidates and the organizations that they shall not publish any advertisement in print media on poll day and 1 day prior to the poll, unless the contents are pre-certified by the state level or district level MCMC committee. District level MCMC committee is headed by the DO or RO of the parliamentary constituency. Its members are ARO, not below the rank of SDM, one official of Ministry of Information and Broadcasting, Government of India, independent citizen or the journalist, DPRO or DIO, and social media expert. For the purpose of pre-certification at district level, the members will be, I am talking about the pre-certification of political advertisement. So for the purpose of pre-certification of political advertisement at the district level, the members will be DEO, ARO of the PC, and social media expert. For the purpose of paid news cases, the whole committee will take the decision. Functions of MCMC committees are pre-certification of political advertisement in electronic media, monitoring and action on paid news cases, monitoring the media violation cases during election process. Duties of the district level MCMC are, it entertains application for certification of political advertisement proposed to be issued on electronic media by an individual or candidate contesting election from the parliamentary constituency or the assembly constituency concerned. Monitor the political advertisement in electronic media for checking whether the telecast or broadcast has been done only after certification of the MCMC. MCMC must monitor political advertisement in all media, especially relating to candidates, either covert or overt, from expenditure monitoring angle. Monitoring if any advertisement in print media is published with the consent or knowledge of the candidate, in which case it will be accounted for in the election expenses of the candidate. However, if the advertisement is not with the authority from the candidate, then the action may be taken for prosecution of the publisher for violation of Section 171H of IPC. Checking if the names and address of the publisher and the printer are carried on any election pamphlet, poster, handbill, and other documents as required under the Section 127A of RP Act 1951. Submission of daily report to accounting team with a copy to returning officer and expenditure observer in respect of each candidate in the prescribed format. MCMC shall scan print and electronic media for suspected cases of paid news. It shall intimate returning officer for issue of notices to candidates for inclusion of actual expenditure on published matter based on DIPR rates in their expenses account. A copy of such a notice also to be marked to the expenditure observer. MCMC committee will monitor all political advertisement in relation to the candidates. It will intimate the returning officer for issue of notices to the candidate. Inclusion of notional expenditure based on standard rate cards in their election expenses account in case the candidate has not submitted the documents of actual expenses. The state level committee will be headed by additional or joint CEO, and its member will be an officer not below the rank of Class 1 officer of Indian Information Services, returning officer of parliamentary constituency located in the state capital, and social media expert. So the pre-certification of political advertisement will be done by this committee, which is headed by the additional or joint CEO. Duties of state level MCMC headed by additional or joint CEO. Pre-certification of political advertisement in electronic media. Pre-certification of political advertisement in print media on the day of poll and 1 day prior to the day of poll. So this will be done by the all registered political parties having their headquarters in the state or union territory. All organization or group of persons or associations having their registered offices in that state or a union territory. The committee headed by the additional or joint CEO shall have no jurisdiction over the cases of paid news. So the appellate committee and the committee which will look after the paid news cases will be headed by the CEO. And its members are observer appointed by the commission, officer of Indian Information Services, one independent citizen or the journalist, additional or joint CEO, social media expert, and intermediary expert to be co-opted by the committee. Duties of state level MCMC committee. It will decide the appeal from both the district and additional joint CEO committees on certification of political advertisement. It will examine all the cases of paid news on appeal against the decision of district level MCMC or the cases that may take up suo motu, in which case it shall direct the concerned ROs to issue notices to the candidates. Functionality of MCMC committee. These directions are always applicable and not only during the period commencing from the date of announcement of the election until the completion of election process. The pre-certification of political advertisement is a year-round activity. So at the national level, the pre-certification work will be done by the committee headed by the Joint CEO of Delhi. So all the registered national parties having headquarters in NCT of Delhi, all groups, organizations, associations, persons having the headquarters in NCT of Delhi will approach this committee. At the state level, the committee is headed by the additional joint CEO. All the registered political parties having headquarters in state, all groups, organizations, associations, persons having headquarters in state will approach this committee. Certification of national party in regional language. If any national party or state party with headquarters in Delhi seeks certification of appointment in any regional language, the application has to be submitted to the state level committee of the state concerned, to which the regional language pertains. If the central office of any of the national parties or the state parties with headquarters in Delhi wishes to seek certification of appointment in any regional language without any Hindi or English version of the appointment, then affidavit will be submitted stating that the regional language version is the true translation of the appointment in Hindi and English, and the applicant will be responsible for any mistake therein. Certification of appointment should be considered by the MCMC in the state where the party is contesting the election. Any appointment certificate for the telecast or broadcast by the MCMC committee of the CEO Delhi, then it will be valid for telecast or the broadcast throughout the India in all the states and UTs. No separate certification would be required in such cases from the committees in other states. However, the party should submit a copy of the certificate obtained from the committee in Delhi to the CEO of the state in which such appointment are proposed to be telecast or broadcast. CEO office may accept and pre-certify the appointment from any political party irrespective of the location of their headquarters, provided they have the language competency to do so. So for the pre-certification work, application will be submitted before the committee. 2 copies of proposed appointment with attested transcript will be attached with the application. The committee will keep a record in a register, and after issue of the certificate, 1 electronic copy of the appointment as certified for telecast should be retained by the committee. So for the application, registered political parties and contestant candidate will submit not later than 3 days prior to the date of broadcast. For unregistered political parties and other persons, the application shall be submitted not later than 7 days prior to date of broadcast. In the application, there will be the cost of production of the appointment, approximate cost of proposed telecast, a statement whether the appointment inserted is for the benefit of the prospect of the election of a candidate or the political party. If the appointment is by a third person, then it is not for the benefit of the political party or a candidate. A statement that all the payments shall be made by the way of check or demand draft. The format of application is shown on the screen. The format of certificate is shown on the screen. So the decision taken by the committee can give this permission without modification. It can direct the deletion, modification in any part. The committee can reject the whole appointment. Appointment must meet the requirements of the law and in accordance with the direction of the Honorable Supreme Court. All political parties, candidates, persons, groups, trusts shall bind to the decision of the MCMC. MCMC shall deliver the decision within 2 days of the receipt of the application. Now what to see before pre-certification? No appointment which is likely to promote enmity or disharmony on grounds of religion, race, language, caste or community, racial, linguistic or regional groups or any other ground. An advertisement shall be designed so as to conform to the laws of the country and should not offend morality, decency, and religious susceptibility of the subscribers. No advertisement shall be permitted which deride any race, caste, color, creed, and nationality, is against any provision of the Constitution of India, and tends to incite the people to crime, cause disorder or violence, or breach of law, or glorifies violence or obscenity in any way. Additionally, the following may also not be permitted: criticism of other countries, attack on religious or communities, anything obscene or defamatory, incitement to violence, anything amounting to contempt of court, aspersion against the integrity of the president and the judiciary, anything affecting the unity, sovereignty, and integrity of the nation, any criticism by name of any person. Also, the various provisions of Model Code of Conduct have also to be kept in mind, such as use of temples, mosques, churches, gurudwara, or any place of worship, or religious texts, symbols, or slogan and posters, music, etc., for electioneering. Photograph of defense personnel and photographs of function involving defense personnel. No aspect of private life not connected with the public activities of the leaders or workers of other parties shall be criticized. No criticism of other parties or their workers on behalf of unverified allegations or on distortions. Political content on social networking sites and e-newspapers. Any political content in the form of messages, comments, photos, videos being posted or uploaded on the blog or self accounts on website, social media website would not require pre-certification. Political advertisement issued in e-newspaper shall invariably require the pre-certification. Now we will see the different sections of the RP Act 1951 which are related with the MCMC. Section 126 of RP Act 1951 is about: it prohibits displaying any election matter, any matter intended or calculated to influence or affect the result of an election by means, inter alia, of television or similar apparatus during the period of 48 hours before the hour fixed for the conclusion of poll in a constituency. If violation occurs, then imprisonment up to 2 years or fine or both. Section 127A of RP Act 1951, it says, it is mandatory for the publisher of any election advertisement, pamphlet, handbill, etc. to print the name and address of the publisher as well as printer. Failure to do so attracts penalty of imprisonment up to 2 years or fine or both. Section 171H of IPC 1860. It prohibits advertisement without the authority of the contesting candidate. If violation occurs, then fine up to Rs 500. The format having the details of advertisement of the paid news in print media or electronic media is shown on the screen. Candidates' advertisement on TV, cable channel, newspaper owned by the political parties. The MCMC shall keep a close watch on the contents telecast on channels owned by the political parties to identify contents of the candidate's political advertisement, and after following all due procedures, the notional expenses as per the standard rate cards of the channel shall be added in the election expenditure account of the candidate, even if they actually do not pay any amount to the channel or the newspaper. So the related Schedule 4 and Schedule 4A is shown on the screen. Legal action on violation of pre-certification instructions. If there is a violation of Supreme Court's order dated 30th April 2004, then an order to the violator may be issued to forthwith stop such violations. Seizure of the equipment can be done. Proceedings for contempt of court's order can be started. In this educational video, we have learned about the functions duties of the MCMC committee. If you have any doubt or want any clarification, then you can contact through the mail as shown on the screen. For other videos on rules and regulations, you can visit the web address as shown. Thank you.